Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Meerkat Musings, or perhaps I should say Meerkat Ramblings, because I'm rambling on today, as I sometimes do, as you know by now. If you've ever followed any of my videos, if you've followed my blog, you'll know that one of the things I'm pretty good at is rambling on, and I apologise if that bores you. Then again, you don't have to listen to this, do you? So maybe I don't apologise if it bores you. Anyway, I have a lot to ramble about over the course of this video, stuff which I have already touched base on the website, on meerkatmusings.co.uk. So what I would normally encourage you to do is check it out in written form, where it's a bit more coherent. But to begin, I really have to begin with chaos at work, because the last month or so has really been defined by chaos at work. In fact, it's been going on for more than a month, without a doubt. But it all kind of culminated with not one but two of my colleagues, bearing in mind we're a team of three here, both leaving the business on the 31st of May. So for the past week, I have officially been on my own. Now, I haven't actually been on my own, because there has been cover from other stores. And one of the outcomes of that is fresh eyes on the place has helped, I guess, to reinvigorate the showroom in many ways. But nonetheless, owing to various circumstances, because I don't know how long it's going to take to recruit new people, I'm going to be doing a fair bit of lone trading in the immediate future. Now, I have mentioned in the past, I don't actually mind this too much in some circumstances. Sometimes it's actually kind of nice to have the showroom to myself. I don't mind, to a degree at least, being alone with my own thoughts. Sometimes I would much rather have company. Human beings, social animals, and guess what? So are meerkats. And so, sometimes you don't want solitude, and sometimes you do. What almost invariably seems to be the situation for me is that when I want solitude, I don't get it, and when I don't want it, I do get it. But hey ho, that's just life. But anyway, I just have to face up to the fact that I'm going to have a few lonely days at work, and what I need to do on those occasions is try to find the motivation to maintain the standards that have been set for me for the showroom, and to also just kind of deal with whatever rolls my way in terms of customers. And we'll just we'll take it one day at a time, which is, of course, all ultimately any of us can do. I'm not going to go into loads and loads of detail as to the circumstances as to why my colleagues resigned, and I just want to say that I don't begrudge them that move at all for either one of them. They ended up with better circumstances, I think, in both cases. I don't hold any issue with that whatsoever. I've been looking myself. In an ideal world, we would have all left together, but but didn't pan out. So hey ho, I am the last one left, and whilst I'm there, for however long that might be, I will try my best, which is all that we can ever ask of anybody. I think that's absolutely fair to say. One of the things, however, which has certainly thrown me for a loop, and this is where I'm in a situation where I will always prioritise this over work, is family stuff, in particular family stuff relating to my daughter's health. She is fine, I want to say very clearly, but we have had a scare involving cancer. But it's dealt with, it's done. It's basically all over, bar a second operation that she needs to have to remove the remaining part of her thyroid gland. And once that is done, it will basically draw a line under a saga that's been going on since the end of February. And we can all, at that point, completely exhale, breathe again freely, feel that we've overcome it, that we can feel a bit kind of just relieved, and then we move on from there. And I do want to say that my employers, as soon as I mentioned that I need to have a particular weekend off for this, they were like, yep, that's fine, we'll organise cover. Which I think actually stands in opposition a little bit to some of their previous dealings with, especially in relation to sort of cancer matters, where they actually, in previous dealings with our showroom, no less, really let themselves down as a company, which is one of the reasons why both my other colleagues have actually left. So I think perhaps they are maybe now showing the sort of awareness they should have already shown. They didn't, and we're in the situation that we're in. But as I say, it's done. For them, it's almost done now regarding my daughter's issue, and it will be dealt with and it will be solved. And as I say, we can all just breathe out a little bit, exhale, relax, decompress when it's all over. And then she's got kind of like a prolonged period for the summer holidays. At the moment, she's doing her GCSEs and she's almost done with those. And then she can have a lengthy summer break where she can rest, recover. We can organise to do things, go places during the summer holidays. And no doubt we will, and we can just have hopefully a relaxed spell, which I dare say, as a family, we sorely need. One of the things which may or may not deliver a relaxed spell is the upcoming. Not really want to dwell on this too much, but the World Cup is about to begin, and that probably won't be very relaxing, actually, to anyone who follows England. I'm kind of actually of the viewpoint that I just won't waste my time watching it, because I have no confidence that England will succeed. Maybe I'm too cynical. On the other hand, maybe that's the result of decades of watching England fail. Sometimes we failed right at the death. Sometimes we failed early on. But either way, one of the hallmarks for me when it comes to the England football team is failure. Well, for England's men's team, I should say. Because the England women, the Lionesses, are actually pretty good. They win things. The men, they don't tend to win things. So I'm not particularly inclined. Plus also, the matches are starting quite late because it's in, most of the matches are in the United States. So time zone wise, it means most of the games are starting really, really late. I will inevitably have work on the following occasion on most days, so I'm not going to want to faff around staying up late to watch what will no doubt be painful performances from England. And for that matter, I'm just not fussed about the World Cup in general. I'm not going to stay up late to watch, say, for example, the Netherlands versus Japan. I'm not going to stay up late to watch Australia v Paraguay. I'm just not that into it, to be honest, at this particular point. I'd rather find a great many other things to do with my time, like writing my books, for example. On that score, I don't remember if I mentioned this in my previous Meerkat Muse. I might have done. My next book is tentatively penciled in for an August release. Haven't had that absolutely confirmed as yet, which is why I say tentatively. But I think it's shaping up for an August release. Very excited about this one. It's called The Forest. It's the start of a whole new saga. And I'm really looking forward to how this unfolds. It's full steam ahead with other projects as well. And, well, rather than wasting time watching the World Cup, I can be writing. I can be productive, which I think would be the better choice, wouldn't it, really? When you think about it. It would be far more rewarding to me as well to actually do some writing, and I'll make some progress with my other projects. I've actually gone and bought myself like a kind of handbook to help me then sort of piece together my next book. and to kind of plan ahead a little bit more than I usually do, because I'm trying to build something quite ambitious with all of this. So we're going to see how that all sort of plays out as well. So yeah, organisation, quite amazing. Quite rare for me to be organised with this sort of thing, but there you go. What else has been going on in this Meerkat's crazy world? Well, one of the consequences of my colleagues resigning is that I was able to book holiday for the weekend just gone, which of course required cover from other stores, but they did organise that. And I was able to go to a family do, not too far away in one sense. I mean, geographically, not far away at all, but because of the train lines, quite faffy. But I was able to go to a family do and see some family members that I hadn't seen in a long time. And in some cases, family that's actually come over from Australia. And I don't know as and when I'll have an opportunity to see them again. So it was important to me to try and make it to this particular do and to touch base with my family, basically, with people that I love and care about, people that I grew up with, and to kind of connect to them again is really important to me. So that was a nice opportunity. I wish I could have stayed a bit longer, but between sort of train times and journey times, I really couldn't leave it too long. But nonetheless, was able to have a bit of time to see everyone pretty much, and I cherish that. I really, really do. Family matters a great deal to me, and so it was important to do that. And family will always come first to me, which is why ultimately I'm in a situation where, for the sake of my daughter's health, my wife's health, that of my mum and dad, whoever, if I have to abandon work and leave the store closed, I'm going to abandon work and leave the store closed, because other things count for a damn sight more than work. And I think if you, for every reason, prioritise work over family, you've got your priorities completely wrong. But hey ho, that's my life, that's me, that's what works for me. And so, really, that's that. To be honest, for I guess this particular ramble, I could talk about the weather a little bit, I guess, which, well, that's been wonderfully ironic, because we had at the end of May scorching conditions here, temperatures, well, scorching for the UK, I mean, probably not for elsewhere, but temperatures were hitting upwards of 30 degrees, which, combined with the fact that there was no air, no breeze, none of that, it just felt very oppressively hot. Now, I like warm weather. I much prefer warm weather to cold and dreary. But when it gets to like sort of 33, 34 degrees, you don't want to be going to work in that. You don't want to be having to be busy in that sort of weather. It's, 30 degrees is the sort of weather where you're on a beach, on a Mediterranean island, sipping cocktails, chilling out, enjoying the sunshine. That's what it should be. It's not an environment where you're having to put on a shirt and trousers, head to work, deal with work, head back home, and then deal with an environment where you have no air conditioning, because historically in the UK we haven't needed it, and just bake. So it was challenging in some respects, nice in some regards, but challenging in others. And then blow me down. So we hit June, which marks the official start of British summertime, and the weather kind of takes a turn for the worse. We're still reasonably warm, but it's overcast, it's been raining, we've had thunder, and temperatures dipped below 20 degrees for some occasions. And it's like, well, that's it's ironic that summer begins with a downturn in the summer weather, really, isn't it? But there you go. That's the UK in a nutshell. Apparently, we're due warm weather again, mid to high 20s in the at the end of June. We will obviously have to wait and see for how that pans out. If it does get to that, then maybe that also means we can look forward to pleasant and warm weather stretching through July, and we'll see what that means for the rest of summer. Summer in the UK normally does sort of peak in July and August. Now, if we're getting potentially sort of 30-degree spikes at the end of May, what are we going to get in the height of summer? And part of me sort of dreads that, because it might get to the point where it gets absurdly hot. All we can do is wait and see. But here's hoping that it doesn't get too crazy, too mad, too hot, that it's actually to a degree where we can go outside, jump in the paddling pool, and just kind of feel like we're enjoying a pleasant summer rather than an oppressive one that keeps us from doing anything. Because you don't want to be in a situation where it's too hot to actually venture outside, do you? You want to enjoy summer. I want to enjoy summer. I'm thinking to myself, cold beers, in the garden, maybe a barbecue or two, and just the kind of conditions that are just nice and pleasant, as opposed to lurching from what has felt like a very long kind of almost winter spell into the opposite extreme. But it's UK weather, and it's never consistent. It never balances itself into the sort of way that we kind of want in this country. You wonder why we moan about the weather all the time in the UK? It's because our weather sucks. It's one extreme to the next. It's never a happy medium. And there isn't much we can do about it. So what do? We moan. And it's one of the great British pastimes, to put it mildly. Oh well, I mean, it is what it is. The one thing that has really kind of ground my gears of late is that my hay fever seems to have gone nuts. You can probably hear I sound somewhat nasal. I don't have a cold. I don't feel like I have a cold. But I am incredibly bunged up from hay fever. I do take hay fever meds, but what they tend to do is they make me drowsy. So I end up in a situation where I can't really win. I either feel drowsy and woozy, or I feel incredibly bunged up and can't stop sneezing. So I kind of can't win with that. In the end, I think I prefer the meds to the full-blown hay fever, the watery eyes, the painful nose, the itchy sinuses. But I could do with medication which doesn't make me feel tired. So what I then do, of course, is neck coffee, but that barely kind of takes the edge off the tiredness. And that is me, basically, for this particular ramble. As ever, do feel free to like and subscribe if you have found this to be even vaguely entertaining. Do feel free to follow me on my personal website, meerkatmusings.co.uk. Through Meerkat Musings, you will find me across various social media channels. And if you are even remotely or vaguely interested in science fiction, perhaps hopefully you'll check out my books. They're available via my website. The website has links to all the places you can find my books, including my publisher, Jumpmaster Press, and including Amazon as well. So if you are remotely interested in new and unique and original sci-fi, go for it. I'll be greatly honoured. And we shall leave it there. I shall wish you all adieu. And I will do another ramble/muse, hopefully in the not so distant future. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.